YURI. So when I say this word, one may think of a rather spicy relationship between two female characters. However, I found out recently this is not always the case. And in fact, YURI simply means GL, girls love. Girls love is YURI and vice versa. So I've read a lot of manga ranging from a lot of different genres, shonen, shoujo, horror, slice of life, but I've never dipped my toes into YURI or yaoi manga. And that is until today, ladies and gentlemen, because I went ahead and I picked up my very first YURI manga. So I've been seeing a lot of hype on my TikTok, go follow me on my TikTok, and various other communities that I'm involved with, about this little gem, Doughnuts Under a Crescent Moon. It's a short little 4-volume manga series, and I thought, hey, 4 volumes, can't go wrong, I'll give it a try, why not? I thought, hey, I need to dip my toes into YURI and yaoi eventually anyway, why not a nice little 4-volume series that, it's not like I've wasted a lot of money if it's only 4 volumes and I'm not getting that heavily invested. And I thought a nice little office romance between 2 female colleagues sounds like a nice simple precedent for me to not get overwhelmed by, and I thought, heck it, why not, I'll go for it. So normally I think romance is fine, it's not my go-to genre, but I don't mind a bit of romance here and there. It's usually more of a sub-genre of things that I read and watch. However, I was extremely pleasantly surprised with this story being a romance YURI manga, because yes, ultimately it is a romance story, but it's more of the depth the creator goes into with these characters that intrigue me. In just 1 volume, I learned so much about both characters, particularly one, but both as well. This is not a thick boy at all. It's a nice thin volume, and the fact that I had so much character development in 1 volume, it just absolutely shows up half the shonen I've been reading, which takes, a good 15 volumes. One character I loved the development of the most was one of our main 2, Hinako Uno. I just love the way that she constantly perceives herself as this non-complete human, that she has almost like a hole in her, like a donut. And how ultimately in like the perfect Patrick Bateman style, she just wants to fit in all the time. And I think that's something we can all relate to, is wanting to fit in. That, yes, you're always going to have social outcasts and some people who don't want to fit in. But, at the end of the day, wanting to fit in and wanting to feel loved is a basic human need. I'm pretty sure it's up there on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right up there with, like, sunlight and sleep. Feeling love is a basic primal instinct that we all need. So this is why it's so relatable and so good when us, as the reader, see Hinako spending all her money on getting her hair done, buying new clothes, going out to lunch dates every single day with her co-workers, because she fears that if she just misses one of them, something's gonna, it's FOMO, it's fear of missing out. It's just complete terror that they're gonna talk about you behind your back, and it's that kind of paranoia and that, overthinking. Hinako just doesn't want to stand out. She just wants to absolutely fit in and just be normal. Even just when she finds out, even though I can't remember how old she is in this story. She's in her early 20s, I know that. But the way that her co-workers are already trying to force her into dating guys and trying to get her married, unlike her fellow co-worker and our second main character, Asahi Sato, who was almost 30, which is not old at all, but in some cultures that is considered, I know in Japanese culture, that is considered old. If a woman is nearly 30 and not married, that is considered, whoa, what she's ran out of time now, but so her co-workers try and get her to do all this, but ultimately, and you can see it so clearly, this is just not who Hinako is. This is just not in her. It's not what makes her happy. It doesn't matter how much makeup she puts on, how many lunch dates she goes to, how many guys she dates, doesn't make her happy at all. Like I say, going back to that stigmatization that we see a lot with Asahi, our second main character, very reserved, she's dependable, like I say, she's almost 30 with no boyfriend or husband, and as a result is the complete opposite of Hinako and the other office women. There is actually a scene in this first volume where Hinako is described as, like this defenseless maiden, and that, Sahi could learn a thing or two from being more like her. Strange seeing such a strong woman being put down, saying, but that is social construct, a very patriarchal view on things, that these women should be these frail, defenseless maidens, which makes no sense at all. Problem is it still happens. This is the unfortunate thing of it, is that norms like this and stigmatizations like this, although we say is getting better, still is so prevalent and has not gone away. And this is why it's so good having a duality of characters like Hinako and Asahi, that you almost see like the modern woman being Asahi and the nuclear family version, if you want to put it that way, of what a woman was back in, you know, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. This old version of what we think of women is wanting to be more like Asahi. It's more dependable, straightforward thinking, but Asahi is being stigmatized and, you know, left out of workplace culture as a result of it. However, luckily for us, Hinako in the story does realise quite early on that, you know, she's now got hardly any money because she's spending it all trying to fit in, and, you know, going on these dates with all these guys and them just not sticking is just not making her happy at all. Thus begins our lovely bond of kinship between Asahi and Hinako, who Hinako idolises and loves how dependable yet kind-hearted when you get to know her how she is. What is great about this is that Hinako idolises Asahi, thinking that, you know, she's so... Well, she is. She's hardworking, she's dependable, she, you know, she brings her own lunch to work instead of wasting money and going out and spending it. But what's so funny and what I like so much about this is that Hinako thinks Asahi's perfect, which is adorable and cute in its own manner. But what we like is that when we get to meet Asahi more and Hinako gets invited to a house and we get further progression between the two in more of their out-of-work life, is that Asahi constantly has food on her face and, you know, her whole room is messy apart from her desk. That she's not completely perfect, but in Hinako's eyes, she is perfect. These cute little flaws that make Asahi such a good character is that, yes, you can try really hard to be dependable and, you know, straightforward thinking at home, but everyone has flaws, and that's what makes us human. And it's the little things like that that make such good characters. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants a perfect character. Everyone wants relatable characters where you can see your own flaws in them. I've only just scratched the story of this surface. I've only read the first volume. I have got volumes 2 and 3 just to the side of me now. Volume 4 is coming out in February time, I think, so I've got about a 2-month wait there. But I am loving this absolutely so much, and the fact this is 4 volumes is actually kind of making me a little sad. I kind of hoped the story would progress more, but like I say, we'll see how it goes out. If you haven't read Doughnuts Under a Crescent Moon, I absolutely recommend it. Like I say, this is my first Yuri manga, and I absolutely love it. So please leave your recommendations down below for me of more Yuri manga, any yaoi manga, you know, BL or GL, I'll read either. I absolutely love these stories, it seems. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.